If you do wrong, if you break the law, if you murder, then justice will be done in South Carolina.
And back to that breaking news we're covering this morning. Alec Murdaugh guilty of killing his wife and son, and this morning he will be sentenced. So after deliberating for only 3 hours, the jury determined Alec Murdaugh brutally murdered his son Paul and then turned the gun on his wife and shot her multiple times. The prosecutors say the verdict is an example that no one is above the law and thanked investigators for their work in that case. The judge also had a message of gratitude for those jurors.
I want to thank each one of you all individually and collectively. It's not often that you're called upon to sit in judgment of the actions of your fellow man, but you all have responded and gave due consideration to the evidence. I will make no comment now as to the extent or the overwhelming nature of the evidence, but certainly the verdict that you've reached is supported by the evidence.
Murdaugh's sentencing will happen at 9:30 this morning. It will be the conclusion to this trial that's lasted 6 weeks, 28 days, and hundreds of hours of testimony. Each murder charge carries a minimum of 30 years in prison with a maximum of life without parole. State prosecutors announced in December that they would not seek the death penalty. Well, last night when the prosecution team came out, they were greeted by applause. Lead prosecutor Creighton Waters is getting the biggest cheer as he took the podium, saying justice was served.
It doesn't matter who your family is. It doesn't matter how much money you have or people think you have. It doesn't matter what you think, how prominent you are. If you do wrong, if you break the law, if you murder, then justice will be done in South Carolina. And I think South Carolina has shown the nation and the world how a process can work and work well.
The entire team lined up in front of the Colleton County Courthouse for the last 6 weeks. They've essentially moved their entire lives to the Low Country. Attorney General Alan Wilson has been in court with them since the beginning of week 2, and he says it was like being back in college with lots of late nights going over their plan for the next day. But he left the crowd with this message.
I'm going to stop speaking as an attorney general, and I'm going to close as a father and as a husband to say that when you go home tonight, hug your loved ones, Amen. Hug your spouse, yes. Hug your children, because this case reminds us of anything that you can't take for granted that people in your family are always going to be there. And right now, when I get home tomorrow, I'm going to hug mine, and I hope you hug yours.
The defense team did not speak last night. However, we are expecting to hear from them after the sentencing. And our trial analysts, Kim and Grant Varner, have been following this case very closely with us day in and day out, and they gave us their thoughts on that fast verdict. President Biden stands behind his decision to shoot down the balloon that caught the attention of people all throughout the Carolinas, the upstate, and even those of you in western North Carolina. And what you're taking a look at, this is video from Greer Saturday morning. You can easily see the balloon. Well, it's right there because it's a clear sky. There's not a cloud in sight, and it quickly became the talk of the town.
We were just out looking for it, really, and it was just right there. We knew it was coming in from northwest, so we just kind of looked over and saw it. I mean, it didn't take long. It was right there over GSP. So I think most people are overreacting. I mean, who knows what it is, but I would imagine everybody's overreacting from what I can see from just it working on Facebook and everything.
And you guys took to the phones. We got hit with emails and messages as you spotted that balloon. It was spotted in Pickens, Union, Greenville, Spartanburg, even Cherokee County. And this is just some of the video and pictures that you all have submitted to us on foxcarolina.com. And for hours on Saturday, we watched and waited for it to move out of our area and whether or not the Biden administration would shoot it down. Then around 3 in the afternoon, the FAA paused departures along the coast and shot down the balloon in the Atlantic Ocean not too far from Myrtle Beach. And this is actually video from the Johnny Causey landing showing what appears to be part of the balloon on a boat close to the shore, along with military personnel. Senior military officials say Navy and Coast Guard ships have set up perimeters around the area to collect debris that is believed to be in 47 feet of water. And this morning, authorities in the Grand Strand are asking residents to be on the lookout for any debris that may wash up on shore.
One thing about this area is we're very popular. We have a lot of people that come into town. For some reason, we also seem to have our fair share of strange things on the beach. But again, for this, just like those events, contact law enforcement right away. Anything on the beach that you see, for this one specifically, if it is a piece of evidence that may be involved in this federal investigation, we need to know right away so that we can secure it and get it to the authorities.
U.S. officials have pushed back on China's repeated claims the down balloon was simply for civilian use and had made its way into American airspace by accident. A second balloon was also spotted over Central and South America, so we, of course, will continue to stay on top of that and provide you updates once we get them. This morning, we know that all 4 of these victims are natives to Florence City, that's here in South Carolina, and sadly, 2 of them are dead and 2 survivors are back in the U.S. We also know that a suspect has been taken into custody as well. And so many of you at home are probably wondering, how on earth could something like this happen? Well, the State Department says it all unfolded when their van was caught in the crossfire of rival cartel groups. The group was traveling to Mexico, so one of them, Lativia McGee, could undergo cosmetic surgery. Well, a family spokesperson says McGee survived. She's a mother of 6. Her mom says she's now recovering at a Texas hospital. Eric Williams, who you see here, is the other survivor. He was also transported to a hospital in Texas as well. Investigators say that kidnapping happened Friday shortly after the group crossed into Mexico. Their minivan crashed and went under gunfire. They were then taken in a pickup truck. Mexico officials say the victims were found in a wooden shack that was being guarded. Mexican officials have arrested this man right here. This is 24-year-old Jose Guadalupe. They say he was guarding the house where the cartel members held captive and tortured that group. Authorities have not confirmed if he is a part of the Gulf Cartel, which is a gang that is accused of kidnappings that operate in that specific region. And this morning, we know the names of those who were killed. We have Shaid Woodward and Zindel Brown. We are also told a Mexican woman died after being hit by a stray bullet. Eric Williams' wife says none of them deserved any of this.
All 4 of them, what happened to them, they didn't deserve it. All 4 of them are good people. I don't think my husband knew that he was in any type of danger or could have been in any type of danger.
We're providing all appropriate assistance to them and their families. We extend our deepest condolences to the family and loved ones of the deceased. We thank our Mexican and U.S. law enforcement partners for their efforts to find these innocent victims, and the task forward is to ensure that justice is done.
Gosh, just so sad. Well, Guadalupe is the only person that has been arrested so far, and investigators are still searching for others that were involved, and we, of course, will continue to keep you updated. And following the announcement of the Americans being found, South Carolina Congressman Russell Fry went to Twitter saying, quote, "Mexican drug cartels wield more power than ever before, and this horrible incident sheds more light on the violence that stems from their rampant illicit activity that impacts not only our border states, but my home of South Carolina," end quote. Well, Senator Lindsey Graham also says he plans to introduce a bill to allow military force against Mexican cartels. National Voter Registration Day falls on the 4th Tuesday of September, so today, and it's a coordinated effort from local, state, and national organizations to urge citizens to register to vote. So whether you're a new voter or you're a voting veteran, we can all use just a little help to make sure we are registered, right? Well, one of the easiest ways to get registered to vote is to go to the National Voter Registration Day website. That's registrationday.org. We do have a link on foxcarolina.com, and there you can find a step-by-step guide to get yourself registered. You can also register by visiting your local voter registration office. You just need to make sure you bring your driver's license. And you can even register by mail by downloading the proper forms. Now, once you are registered, your voice will be heard at the ballot box. But make sure you do your own research before voting. You need to familiarize yourself with all the candidates and what will be on the ballot for both local and, of course, the presidential ballots. Another reason why it's so important to get registered, especially for our young voters, a new poll released by the Catholic University Institute for Public Policy surveyed 1,500 potential voters between the ages of 18 and 34. 50% say they are not motivated to vote in the upcoming presidential election. The poll also found 45% of young Americans believe the election won't make a significant difference in their lives. If you want your voice to be heard, you need to get out there and vote, vote, vote. And if you want more information, you can always visit our website at foxcarolina.com. But for now, in the studio, Christy Waite, Fox Carolina News.